Hello and welcome to the Heresy Lodge. I am your host, Dylan Cooper, with our constant co-host over here.
Gavin Franklin.
And guys, we are here again to review Deliverance Lost.
Same night, so we've already been drinking. And before we jump into the book, let's cover what we need to cover this time.
Yes, we need to cover our request from good old Trainwreck.
Yeah, so last time, if you guys don't recall, we got a request to do a shot. Or shots.
Yeah, I think it was shots.
We settled on shot. What happened was I did a shot. And then last episode we complained, wondering why Trainwreck wouldn't get back to us.
Trainwreck.
And I realized it's because he asked both of us to do a shot. And Dylan was being a bit of a pussy. So here we are with a shot each of moonshine.
Yeah, moonshine from the good old Old Smoky. Old Smoky in Tennessee.
Old Smoky moonshine. Here it is. It's green. It's because it is
green apple.
Gatorade moonshine.
It's actually water. I dyed it a long time ago, so my wife didn't realize I was an alcoholic.
Cheers. Not bad.
Yeah, it's good.
Very easy shot. For those of you who've not had moonshine, a lot of people think it's illegal.
It is in most states.
It is. But some states, like Indiana, Tennessee, Kentucky, you can drink moonshine. And let me tell you, it's pretty fucking good.
It's really good.
It's not, this isn't like moonshine that you would get out of like a distilled place, because that moonshine is actually dangerous.
Yeah, it's like real moonshine is insanely strong. Like they have like their, I think they used to call it White Lightning. I think it's a new name now, but it's
that was 48, 46%.
I don't know. It's like 120 proof, and it hurts.
120 proof. That's hard. That's
yeah,
like 60%. I don't know if it's 120.
I think it's 120.
It's
like drinking like.
I wouldn't be surprised because it was rough.
Yeah, it's like drinking fucking rubbing alcohol.
This was like what we would go to. That White Lightning was what we would go to for like river trips or like concerts. It was so bad.
Yeah.
We would have the little containers and just get super trashed off of moonshine. But yeah, it's very similar like Everclear.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's like some pretty heavy duty shit. This one is much more tame.
Yeah, this one's only like
20%.
40. Like 40 proof, something like that.
So much smaller, not that crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good moonshines though.
Yeah, like I think Old Smoky does a really good job.
There's actually another place in Nashville. Fuck, I can't think of the name. Yes. It's another big one. Way better than Old Smoky.
Okay. Yeah.
But highly recommend going to, especially like Gatlinburg, because they do. All the places have free tastings.
Mm-hmm.
So most places you can try like 5 things for free, or you can try like 95% of the menu for $5. And let me tell you, you can get trashed very, very quick. Ask my wife. She was thrown up by like 1 p.m. one time.
Hey, Tennessee has always been a great time for drinking. Nashville, Tennessee is like one of the best cities I've ever been to. So would highly recommend if you're like thinking about going and just having a good time. Like
great hiking, great drinking.
Yeah, all around for sure.
But that's not all we're drinking.
That was just the shot. So let's bring it back. So this is, like I said last time, this is another Cincinnati brewing company. This one is called Wolves Ridge. So this one is actually established after, like, the Dayton area apparently went through this whole, like, just like the rest of the United States. I feel like breweries just popping up out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, I feel like alcohol has gotten bigger. Maybe it's because
I think so too.
Alcohol. It's one of the businesses that will never die. It's like sex, drugs, and something else.
Yeah,
not rock and roll.
No. Well, music. Yeah, music would never die either. So like you have.
But like, it's like one of the safe the
professions. You have farming, prostitution, bartending.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with any of them. You're recession proof. And now you have like nursing.
Yep. And like finance.
Sometimes, yeah.
Everyone needs an accountant.
Don't have money.
Everyone needs an accountant.
So, yeah, this is like a new established in 2013, Wolves Ridge Brewing.
This is good.
It is an Oktoberfest because it is September.
Yes. Man, I love me some Oktoberfest.
Oktoberfests are really good. You introduced me to Oktoberfests.
Did I?
Yeah.
Ah, dude, I love Oktoberfest.
You were big into the Sam Adams one.
Yes, I do love the Sam Adams.
They make a good Oktoberfest.
I think theirs is like the golden standard of Oktoberfest. Like, they may not be the best,
but it's not the best. Exactly. Yeah. Like, they're better. Wow, this is good.
I do like this.
Let's try it.
I've had a lot of shitty Oktoberfests.
This is a good Oktoberfest.
This is a good one.
Holy fuck. And it's cold. Very nice. Profile. Toasted bread.
Sure.
Weird. Kind of, though.
Yeah.
Smooth, traditional. 5.4%. A little low for an Oktoberfest.
Still very good.
A lot of Oktoberfest I see are at least 6 or 7%.
Steeped on tradition and consumed in celebration. Oktoberfest in the perfect lager to herald the onset of autumn. Toasted bread on the nose leads to a slightly sweet and malty flavor with just a hint of noble hops.
Fucking can't even read.
Shit. Crisp and highly quaffable. This says quaffable. Brewed to be drunk by the stein. Damn, I don't have any steins at the house. Enjoy this brewer's favorite seasonal beer. I agree.
Do you remember when I had like a shitload of steins?
Yes.
And we would drink because I was too poor to afford Viking horns. So we would drink mead out of steins. That was a good time for all of the D&D stuff that we did. This is a really good one. So anybody who wants a solid beer, Wolf's Ridge, look for him because this is I like.
Yeah, this is really good. I'm a big fan.
Solid. The first time we tried it, like, kind of mind blown here a little bit that like a random pick is as good as this.
Yeah, half the time, like half of our beers are like, well, this one's ass, but we're stuck drinking it.
This is super solid.
Yeah. I like this. So going on, ways to contact us, guys. So when you contact us, we just most of the time, we want some like questions that you guys want us to answer. If it's something that you're like, hey, you guys fucking suck ass at this, you should try doing this, we take those.
We've got a couple of those.
Yeah. We definitely learn. We had one guy like message me, he's like, hey, sometimes you guys just kind of skip things and you get your shit together. And then that was like our earlier episodes, and he started listening to our new ones, and he's like, you actually got better. Like, oh, thank you.
And, like, I think we've kind of settled on the fact that like we do kind of need to feel rushed to finish the books because it makes it early in our minds. It makes sure we're on top of it. That's one of the things we found with like YouTube lore videos is they seem to be like researched right before and like kind of shitty.
Yeah.
So like there are things that just aren't covered because they don't have whatever they're learning like right there. Like, they just recently like read the book or something.
Yeah, and that's how it's kind of how we were the first like 6 books because like
it's been a couple months.
Yeah. Actually more than that, like several months. Yeah. But yeah, definitely feel like we've gotten better, and hopefully you guys think the same. But to tell us those things, email us at theheresylodge@gmail.com. Let us know on Twitter. You can DM me. You can just tweet directly at us and let the world and you can tell the world that we suck ass. I might even retweet it because why not? Yeah. You can also find our Discord on there. It is pinned to the top. Join that. We have a lot of good times in there. We shoot the shit a lot. There's some memes. There's weird dreams and other miscellaneous things that happen in there.
Dreams about Puerto
and Gavin. That's really concerning. But you can find that at Heresy Lodge on the Twitter. If you're listening or watching on the YouTube, please like and subscribe. Deliverance Lost review. Oh God. Okay.
The Puerto Dream. What's funny to me is I've never actually read a description of Puerto.
I've seen pictures of him.
Yeah,
and that's even worse.
I don't know if I have seen, but just literally the dream I had was like my mind image of Puerto.
It's funny that you had that dream because I also had a Warhammer dream, but it was nothing like that. Like in my dream, I was like defending a hotel,
dude,
as a normal person.
Yeah,
and like
from Astartes.
Yeah, and dude, I'm like, holy shit!
Like that.
I think it's because like
if I get really into reading, I will have dreams of Warhammer.
And like the last
good time.
Like 3 days, like I've been like hardcore reading to try to make sure I was done by today.
Tell you what, man, the dream I had. Okay, I'm gonna defend myself a little bit. Let me walk through this. So
I was watching Pornorama porn before I went to bed, so that's why I dreamt of it.
No.
That's not what happened. Because that would have made sense to me.
So watching Porto porn. It flows so well. Watching Porto porn.
New kink. I'm cool for it.
So what happened was in this dream, I'm saying I had a dream about Porto Rabo, but this is what happened. I did have a dream about Porto Rabo, and then I'm pretty sure I had a sex dream. I'm not 100% sure that I had a sex dream.
I woke up and my pants were soaked, and it wasn't piss.
No. Okay, but you know how like weird dreams are sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So like, I'm pretty sure at some point throughout the night, I remember very vaguely having a dream about getting a blowjob.
It has like this like chain, like this like gate around his head. It doesn't make it any better.
You're not helping. Can you let me explain?
Yeah.
I'm
ready.
So like anyway, dreams are weird. So like I remember having a dream that I was like in a Starties at Isfan, and like I wanted to survive, so I played dead. And like all of these stop. I know where this is going.
Was really into that. Dead dude. Oh, I must defend
You're really
this.
not helping me here. Listen, motherfucker, you're
about
one
to
that
get fortified.
You're the one that consciously watched the Thing porn. Okay, so I don't want to fucking hear it.
I was like 7.
Oh, okay. But anyway. I'm like trying to like avoid detection, and everyone else passes me up a Porto Rabo, and he's like, "Is this person alive?" And he like rolls me over, and I obviously was alive, but he like I fooled him. He's like, "Oh, you're dead." That was the dream I had about Porto Rabo. Then I had another dream about getting a blowjob. Now when I woke up, those are the only 2 dreams I remember. So when you only remember 2 dreams, you think they happen like back to back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So mine was like, dude, did Porto Rabo suck me off in my fucking dream?
Man, I am really hard right now.
Holy shit.
Oh man, this is normally happens at the end, guys. I'm sorry.
2 different dreams, but like I'd like the whole sexual dream. Like, I don't even know if it happened. Like I just had like a vague memory of like, did I have like a sexual encounter in my dream? Because sometimes like you have sexual encounters. I know this is a thing. Like I've never had like a wet dream.
Oh, dude, I've had several.
See, like I've never like some people do, some people don't. But I have had sexual dreams.
I've had a lot of those too.
So like
they're not always wet though.
So that's interesting to me. It's like I've never experienced that, so I don't really know.
Do you ever finish in your dream?
No.
That's why.
Never.
It's when you finish in the dream is when you finish.
See, that's interesting.
And you're like, wait a minute, damn it!
Like I've talked to girls who've like they've had orgasms because it's like the equivalent of wet dreams, but not all girls have done that before. So it's like interesting. It's like some sort of like a dream, like physically connecting like the rest of your body, and I just like don't have that. It's kind of weird. Like, so I don't know if Porto Rabo sucked me off in my dream because I didn't finish.
Well, guys, we are a Warhammer lore podcast, and today we are here to talk about Deliverance Lost.
Porto Rabo's not in this book.
Now, Corax, woo!
Oh my god.
He's super pale. He has that dark hair. Oh my god, that gets me.
Okay. So, how did we even start?
Wing jetpack.
Something about ravens. Alrighty then. So if you want to have these conversations, join our Discord. 15 minutes in, can we begin the podcast?
Holy shit, yeah. So let's start with Deliverance Lost. So it opens up with how the short story ended back in Age of Darkness, where
Bran saving Corax.
Yes, so the Raven Guard get picked up and they are trying to escape the solar system.
The Isfan system.
Yeah, the Isfan system. And the cool thing about them, but we kind of should have talked about in the preview, is like they have this different type of field for their ships that was created on their homeworld.
Is it the... Yeah, I can't...
I don't remember the name of the field.
It's not Void.
Nope.
It's a stealth field.
Yeah, it's something of a stealth field. but like when they have that on, they can't have on like their Geller field or like their defenses and stuff like that.
Yeah, so they're very exposed to enemy fire.
Yeah, but I think it like reflects like the world around them, so like you can't really see them.
Yeah,
So like, it's like a bunch of mirrors, basically.
It's like how we today we're actually researching stealth technology, and that's how we do it. Is reflection. Yeah, so reflex shields.
Yeah, that's it.
Aha, look at us putting our minds together.
Yes, the big brains are here now.
So they're basically escaping the ISFAN system using this like reflex shield technology, and the traders know where they are.
Yeah, but they just can't see them, and like the whole time, it's like they're just like doop, doop. Like it takes them like way longer than it should because they're trying to like avoid everything.
It's an interesting conversation because Alfarius let Corvus Corax escape by infiltrating the World Eater ship that should have destroyed the Brand's ship. Right? Yeah. Alfarius gets called in by the War Master to explain why he did that. And Alfarius explains to him that he has reason to believe that the Emperor is going to gift Corvus Corax with a weapon that they can steal by the Cabal. The Cabal told him that.
Doesn't mention that part, though.
Yeah, and Horus is... They asked, like, okay, well, should we just let them escape? And Horus has this really good line where he's like, no, because that'll raise more suspicion. Because Corvus Corax is kind of an idiot in this book.
Yeah.
But he's not that big of an idiot. He said that would raise a lot of suspicion. So let's try and kill him, but I would be very surprised if Corvus Corax couldn't escape us. Because he's, like, Horus has... He respects him. He's hoping that Corax escapes.
Yeah.
And he believes in his abilities well enough that he knows that if he tries to kill him, Corvus Corax would still escape.
Yeah. But I think that also just goes to, like, he knows he's, like, one of his brothers. Mm-hmm. And, like, they should be able to... Any of them should be able to get out of something like that.
Yeah. And especially Corax and the way he does his stuff. Because he's just all about avoiding detection and all that. And so Corvus Corax makes his way through this crazy...
I do like this really cool thing.
Yes,
so like
the scene that I know
yeah. So like they're finally about to like warp jump, and there's like is it two ships or three ships? There's only one.
There's a few, but it's the point of view that we're thinking of is only one ship.
Yeah, and so like there's these ships that are like right there, and they activate the
warp drive.
The warp drive, and it sucks these ships into the warp, and they all go fucking crazy.
Yeah,
because the warp because they didn't have their Geller fields on, they didn't have enough time.
Yeah, so like, it's from the point of view of one of the captains in the ship, and he's like at first it's really cool because he's like, Corax really fucked with our systems. God damn it, what's going on? And they're like trying to get the systems online, but they can't. And it's been like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
they're like trying to figure something out, and they're like, okay, and all of a sudden one of their guys starts going fucking crazy. And it's a word bearer, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's the word bearer.
The word bearers are like the ones like doing all this stuff, and like people in their command ships start going crazy. And he's like, "Do a scan for stars or whatever," and they didn't find any of them. And that's when we realized, like, oh my god,
Corvus, this motherfucker.
We've been in the warp for 10 minutes
with no Geller field.
Yeah, and like everything around them starts like going insane.
Yeah, and, like he gets like ripped open from the inside,
are being born within them. And it was such a good description.
It was really cool.
Because, like, as a reader, you're like, wow, I can't believe Corvus Corax almost drew them into the warp. There are no stars. We are within the immaterium. We are already dead.
Yeah, and they're like, holy shit. Who would do this?
And then their insanity just starts getting ripped apart. Yeah, so it's like...
Really strong start.
Is Corvus Corax evil? No.
That was a good move.
Does he fuck some shit up? Absolutely he does. So Corvus Corax and the Raven Guard make their way to Terra because Corvus just wants to seek an audience with the Emperor. For some reason, Corax believes that the Emperor has a solution for the fact that his legion is now completely fucked.
Well, I think in his mind, it's like, you're able to build us. You have to have the technology to build more.
Plus, like, who do you go to?
Yeah, exactly.
The Emperor is the person you go to. So he makes his way back to Terra. He gets hailed by some Imperial fists who refuse to let him in. And you kind of get, like, this is kind of the first book that I realized, like, how untrusting all the loyal legions are. They have no idea. After Isfan, who could you fucking trust?
Yeah.
So
And honestly, the people that like survived this time, they should be the most skeptical.
exactly. Well, not only that, the other way around, because this is talked about. The Imperial Fists are like, how the fuck did you survive?
Yeah.
And that's when Chorus realized, like, oh, they probably think we made a deal, or like,
Yeah,
or
I mean,
joined
it
with
definitely is like, and the whole thing's kind of just like a fuck. Like,
we can't
Yeah.
trust each other at all.
yeah,
It's kind of cool, and I like how Corax kind of handles this. He's very level-headed, and he makes his way to Terra, and we get this really cool scene with him in this like bungalow house thing on a lake.
no, yeah,
So one of the things that's interesting is he's living in this like these quarters underneath Everest,
yeah.
and there's a underground lake and it has 20 houses.
It was cool too because he was like, "Huh, 20. This must have been built way long ago."
Yeah, but like a long time. So like, I think we see this lake in these houses in the future. But it honestly like kind of shows that this wasn't the Emperor's plan.
No.
Like everyone who has this idea of like, oh, the Emperor has planned all this from the start. No, he hasn't. Like,
I wonder if like like the two missing Primarchs. I wonder if they like when like they were just discovered, they were just like either A, just wouldn't like join the Emperor's side,
mhm.
or if B, like they were like way worse off than like Angron was.
or Angron,
Yeah.
Possibly. I mean, we probably won't ever know.
No.
And that's okay, because I think it like either one, it doesn't matter, because the same thing happened. Russ was sent to kill them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what this scene proves, is the Emperor did not plan for any of this to happen. His ultimate goal was just, it all worked out.
Yeah.
It all would have been fine. And even if you could say the Emperor did plan for a heresy, the fact that he built 20 houses and each one was unique, because Corax talked about, like, you wouldn't be able to figure out which one was unique till he went in. He had no idea which ones at first were going to return. Yeah. So it's really interesting to see that. And, like, this, like, definitely proves without a shadow of a doubt that the Emperor originally planned for a different path.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and all 20 Primarchs.
Yeah. Chorus makes his way to meet with Dorn and Malkador. He takes a shuttle with one of the Imperial Fists, and I was really hoping that it was going to be what's the Imperial Fist guy? It's a badass.
Norvis? Oh, fucking shit. Starts with an S.
It does. It's not Servitor.
Nope.
It's not Sejuanis. It's
Nope.
Tramark would be so pissed at us right now.
Oh my god, he's fucking rolling around right now.
Yeah. Oh my god. Sigismund. Ah, you're welcome. I figured it out. Sigismund.
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't see Sigismund at all.
Yeah, not at all. So we see Dorn and we see Malkador, and like we were talking about in the preview, Dorn just reveals like how fucked everything is.
Yeah.
And he's like, God damn, like all of our shit's to hell, and I'm really glad
before
you showed
this,
up.
we should talk about how like how that happened later on, because that was the joke was when they got there, the Captain Norvis, who was in charge of like letting people in, was like, you guys can't come in. You guys don't have permission.
Yeah.
And they're like, are you fucking kidding me? We just came from Isfahan. We're fucking destroyed. We are fucking
Corax
here.
is on board.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Follow protocol.
Yeah.
Like, are you fucking kidding me? And then finally, I don't know why it took Corvus this long, just puts on like a Primarch channel, like Vox channel, like, hey, it's me. It's Corvus. Please let me land. And Rogue was like, oh shit, Corvus, it's you. Come on down, dude.
Yeah, exactly. It's like another Primarch.
Holy
fuck.
fuck.
I thought it was about to be 1v6 these motherfuckers. Thank God. Yeah, so you meet with Dorn. Dorn is like, I'm shitting my pants, dude, because I can only put so many fucking guns on this mountain.
Look, man, I got the wall. I need more guns.
And get this.
All the Remembrancers, they need to start building guns.
And get this. The fucking traitors already have Mars. That's the next planet over. I'm so fucked. So Corvus is like dealing with all of this crazy shit, and Dorn is telling him, "Hey, you need to stay here." And Corvus is trying to let Dorn know, like, "Hey, that's not what we're made to do," which I would agree with.
Yeah.
The Raven Guard would have been pretty fucking useless on Terra.
Yeah.
Well, especially with their numbers. So he came to seek audience with the Emperor, which Corvus never really got, but he kind of did.
Yeah.
So Dorn, from what we know, Dorn has been unable to speak with the Emperor, which is so much so like the oldest son mentality to me. He's like, I don't need daddy to tell me. Like, I'm gonna trust what he says and just do it. You know what I mean? Where Corvus and all these others, like, I want daddy.
I came here to see him.
So, the Emperor possesses Malkador right before Dorn and the Raven Guard are about to.
Yeah, I really like how they're having this like fight, and Malkador's like, "There's nothing we can do." Like, I haven't seen him.
Yeah.
You're not seeing him. Dorn's been here for months.
Because Corvus was like, "I'm gonna go see him right now."
Yeah.
And they're like, "No, you can't." He's like, "What are you gonna do? Stop me?" And Dorn was like, "Yeah, I will kill you." And Corvus is like, "Oh, really? I guess I'll have to kill all of you then." Which maybe
yeah, I don't know. I've never seen Dorn fight.
Yeah, maybe we will see Dorn fight. Who knows? But I at this point, I think Corax can kill Dorn. Do I think you could kill Dorn and 10 Custodes in Malkador?
Probably not.
That would be pretty fucking rough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Corax at this point was just like, I need to go see.
Yeah, like I had to get my legion put together.
So the Emperor possesses Malkador, tells him about the secret of the Primarch project and where to find it, and Corax leads like a contingent into the mountains of Terra and finds this like secret vault. Now, this is where I have my like otherworldly connection here. My
This is the poem?
Yeah.
Okay.
So as Corax finds the door, one of the things that's interesting is it's not defended at all. And there's this big talk, and it's a very Raven Guard-esque thing to do. Like, you can tell, like, literally the way the Emperor did this is exactly how Chorus and no other Legion would do this. The best way to defend a place is to not defend it at all.
Yeah.
Because no one would think to ever go there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just some random mountain in the middle of, like, the mountains of Nepal, like, huge mountain range. And they just so happen to find it because Corax has all these memories of the Emperor. And when he gets to the mountain, he reads this poem. I feel like... Let me see if I can pull the poem up because it's really cool. It's called Asmodeus. There we go. It's a really shitty...
Please hold.
Okay, so it works. The poem says, I met a traveler from an antique land who said, two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them, on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that its sculptor well those passions read which yet survive, stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them and the heart that fed, and on the pedestals these words appeared, my name is Asmodeus, king of the kings. Look at my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remains round the decay of the colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sand stretch far away. So, what this poem is supposed to describe is the idea of, like, at one point in time in this area, there was a king named Asmodeus, and he had this massive sculpture constructed of him to proclaim how powerful he was in this kingdom that he built. But as this traveler came across it so many years later, all he found was the destruction, just the legs, and nothing was around it but sand. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So the concept of this poem is supposed to say, like, no matter how great of a conqueror you are, everything that you do is going to be in vain. Because as time happens, your kingdom will erode.
Yeah. That poem's on the floor, too, of, like, the entrance.
And this poem was written by Percy Shelley. He's an incredibly famous poet. And at the time, he wasn't regarded. He's like one of those poets that was like at like a few hundred years after he
after
died.
death.
Yeah, they were like, "Wow, this shit rocks." So,
rolling around, like, damn it, I could have been rich.
he was a poet that like wrote against King George. That was how what this poem was supposed to like represent was King George, and how like all of his conquests would be in vain, which today we see. And he was also a really big secularist. He didn't believe in the power of religion and stuff like that. So there was so many ties between him, like his concepts and the emperor and stuff like that.
That's really cool.
And you get this realization from Corax. It's like, I wonder, because the emperor put it there.
Yeah.
And he's like, I wonder, like, if the emperor believed we would fail. What an interesting fucking... like, why would the emperor put that poem there?
Yeah.
It's super fun. Like, I remember reading this. I was like, what a cool... And another reason I remember... I was like, I've heard this poem before. You know where else it is?
Where?
Breaking Bad.
Really? When?
The poem is read in one of the intro scenes by... So, like, if you YouTube the poem Asmodeus, it's read by...
Walter,
but it's, his actor. Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, Bryan Cranston.
Yeah. So that's like a big thing. Because it's supposed to be like this kingdom he built. And then at the end, it's nothing because it just, everyone dies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, people die.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it shouldn't be a surprise that the Emperor could see himself dying.
I don't think it's as much as the Emperor seeing himself dying as much as he's seeing, like, everything was for nothing. Will eventually crumble. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't.
Yeah.
So, like, the whole concept of what I truly believe when the Emperor, like, decided to put this poem around, decided to do it, is like,
I think it should be like a reminder.
It's a reminder. Like, he knows he at the end of the day it will fail because that's just how time works.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean he shouldn't make it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's so cool to see this kind of. It's like it kind of gave me chills.
It's really cool
thinking about that shit. So, Corax sees this. He has to go through this maze to essentially find the Primarch project and the Astartes project.
Before this, though, before they go inside, there is a cool scene where the person who is Alferis.
Yeah, we need to like talk about that situation, but I think we'll kind of backtrack and talk about that.
Well, just real quick, like he is like sitting in there, and Sergeant, what's his name? Door. The one that gets attacked at the end.
Gets attacked at the end?
Yep, gets the grenade.
Door.
Yeah, Door. So he like says like something, and the other Alferis agent like notices it and is like, huh, he thinks differently, like all the other ones.
That wasn't Door. Was it Door?
Yeah, it was. So it was the sergeant. Yep.
Yeah.
And he was like, huh, that's interesting. I'll have to keep an eye on him.
So we kind of talked about this in the preview, like one of the Alpha Legion guys was like, maybe this guy's Alpha Legion. Because none of the Alpha Legion know, like, what's going on. And we talked about in the preview, like, how upset we were that Corax wasn't just, like, vetting these people.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense why you wouldn't.
There are several Alpha Legion people that make their way into this.
Although maybe, like, for him, because it talks about how, like, he, like, believes that he has to know everyone's name in his Legion. Maybe since, like, he recognized the face, he knew the name, that he was just like, there's no way that any of my guys would betray me.
Then you would even think, like, the Custodes would have thought about it.
Yeah, somewhat, especially since, like, the Custodes do a lot of investigating on everything.
They just didn't. So, Corax has to get through this maze, which is essentially, like, this big, an elaborate trap built by the Emperor to prevent people from getting into.
It's a way more advanced one than the one that was on Mars.
Yeah, like way more advanced than like the Omnissiah maze.
Yeah.
So like people died in this maze because of like auto turrets and shit they had up. It would like measure changes in temperature and frequency.
Yeah, I think it was Lucar
that died.
Yeah, he's the one that like sacrificed himself for Alfarius.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Why did you save me?" And like the other ones were like, "What do you mean?"
Yeah. And they finally make it to the door. Like quite a few Raven Guard people died. They make it to the door, and you get this really cool interaction with the Custodes and the Raven Guard. So the door is locked psychically by the Emperor, and only the Emperor can open it. So you get this fucking theological debate. Because Corax basically says like, hey, I have a psyker here that can open this door.
Yeah, he's like, he was part of the Librarium before it was canceled at Nicaea.
And the Custodes say, sorry, the Emperor told us at Nicaea you cannot be a psyker. And if you try to use those powers, we will have to kill you. And they were ready to kill the Raven Guard and fight the Raven Guard and Corax right there. Yeah. Obviously, Corax didn't want this. And Corax was like thinking and saying things to a psyker like, have you ever felt negative thoughts or anything like that?
He was like, the Emperor sent us here. He clearly has an idea that, someone has to be able to open the door somehow, and he's not here. We have a librarian.
Exactly. So, like, the concept is, like, the Custodes are supposed to follow the Emperor, but Corax received direct, like, orders from the Emperor to go here, and there's a door that stops them that has psychic ability. This is like a Psychology 101 course, I feel like.
Yeah.
Do you then break the Emperor's previous decree to not allow psychers in order to currently fulfill the Emperor's current plan?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the Council of Nicaea is imploding on itself. the concept of psychers and how they're treated in the Imperium is like, none of it's making sense at this point. And the Custodes being absolute are like, we were told. You were told this, but we were told this. And since we were told this, we will kill you over it.
Yeah.
And you get this really cool thing where Corax whispers and asks for the Emperor's guidance. And the psyker is like, that's my cue.
Pretty much.
And the psyker opens the door. Now, later we get revealed to us that, like, the psyker would have told people that the Emperor himself kind of pushed him to do it.
Yeah, because, like, we actually have the Alfarius, who is like, did you do that? And he's like, I didn't break my oath. And he's like,
but the Emperor didn't do it.
Yeah.
And he was like, and then walked away.
Yeah, pretty much just shrugged his shoulders.
Yeah, and, like, we get this part where, like, Corax steps between him and the Custodes because there's some crazy stuff going on with him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, his, like, eyes are, like, super bright or something.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, he did obviously influence the door.
Yeah.
But
it was a really cool thing, too, like, after, like, the door was open and, like, Alfarius had that conversation with him. He's like, holy shit, if the Emperor was here, could he know that I'm here?
But they didn't. There was none of that. Another thing that I think, like, kind of went dead.
Yeah.
Like, that was just a thought, nothing ever occurred from it.
I can't, like, even, like, because, like, even, like, whenever, like, they were coming down to Terra, and the Imperial Fist, like, investigated them, like, he was like, oh shit, what if I'm discovered? But, like, nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
Like, why is no one doing any testing?
It's one of the problems with the concept of the Emperor, too, being as powerful as he is. We talked about this a lot in The Outcast Dead. It's like, there's so many things the Emperor could have done easily that could have prevented this. Like, the Emperor and his psychic abilities could, like, he was telling and warning Corax, don't let the enemy infiltrate. But he could have just easily checked.
Yeah. I don't know. Have, like, fucking biometric tests.
Yeah, it would have been so easy, but it just didn't happen. Like, there were so many things that could have prevented this, but I think a lot of the issue as to why this didn't happen was the desperation of Corax.
Also, don't everyone in the fucking Alpha Legion have a Hydra?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Obviously, that would be like a huge flaw.
Well, I mean, every fucking agent has.
If they did, right? Like, I know every agent does, but, like, if they really needed to infiltrate, they would just cover it up.
Well, I mean, that's why you have a fucking strip search. That's what I was getting
Well,
at.
I mean, like with like skin grafts.
I'm
you
just
know what I
telling you, they could have done a
I know
lot more.
there was so many things. Like there were so many things, and it was weird. I think like the thing that blows my mind is all these legions just didn't know how powerful the Alpha Legion was.
Yeah, I mean,
They
they even
just
talk
never
about that. They're
expected
like
it.
every like the Alpha Legion guys like, everyone just kind of just like shits on us. Like when our Primarch was found, like we had no fucking celebration.
It really makes me think the Alpha Legion in general is insanely powerful.
Yeah,
It makes me want to rethink because they were like lowest. I think we both
we
had them.
we
ranked
both have them
20.
at the lowest.
But like after reading this book, it's like
Well, honestly, at the end of this
Wow.
book, it should probably be the Raven Guard because there's 9 of them.
yeah. But I'm just saying the Alpha Legion, they have proven themselves time and time again to
Yeah.
just do some crazy shit. I will say that a lot of their power, it's hard to rank the Alpha Legion.
Yes.
It's hard because like their power comes from the mind of Alfarius and not his battle powers.
Yes.
And the Alpha Legion themselves can't really bring power to the table.
Well, I don't know because like we had that one sparring scene when like the Alpharius like pulled out like this trick that like would have like won him the fight, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Whoa, what was that?" He's like, shit. I saw someone else do this.
We just haven't been shown the Alpha Legion kick ass.
Yeah.
We've shown the Alpha Legion being deceptive as fuck and winning the day. Like the Alpha Legion, they just win.
Yes.
They haven't lost. Like they
No.
fucking win, and they're good at it.
Like shit, like even like Legion, like when like John Grammaticus like thinks he's like really getting them there, and like they all just fucking teleport in. They're like, no, we do this on our way.
This is literally our game here. Yeah, and you see this. So one of the big things is once they finally retrieve the gene seed and they go back to Deliverance, they unload it in this secret base, and you get this thought from the Alpha Legionnaire. He's like, "This is awesome," because they're trying to make this really secret, which we're really good
Yeah.
at, and they're not. So we're going to wipe the floor with this
Yeah.
shit, and they fucking do.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And I mean, the craziest thing too was like, Omegon only took in 40 Astartes.
Yeah.
Against like 7,000.
Yeah, that's what's nuts. Yeah, so he, Omegon.
Yeah, timeout. Yeah, we haven't talked about Omegon and like his role.
We've arrived at Deliverance with the gene seed. Let's backtrack to talk about what the Alpha Legion has been doing this whole time. So it's good.
That was close.
So the Alpha Legion has done a few things. One, they've sent Omegon, one of their Primarchs, to
one of their Primarchs. That's so weird to say.
I know, it is weird to say. To Deliverance, to basically just gather intel and figure out what he needs to do. And at this time, he's been swaying the guilds, which are the group of people that
ruled
previously ruled Deliverance and that Corax overthrew. Some of them still remained under Corax's rule and the Mechanicum's rule. So he swayed them, and he has a bit of a fighting force there.
Yeah, one thing too about the planets, like they are very technological.
Mm-hmm.
Like they are very advanced for being like what they are.
Which is why when they were conquered by the Imperium, the Mechanicum became such a huge impact there.
Yeah.
So right now they're currently basically being ruled by the Mechanicum.
Yeah.
All the people work in Mechanicum factories, all that stuff. Which is why his second ally is so important. He has turned a order of the Mechanicum that works in Deliverance.
Yeah. Order of the Dragon.
Which is the Omnissiah.
Yep.
So basically what you can tell with the Mechanicum is the people that greatly worship the Omnissiah are kind of following Horus.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Which makes sense to me. Because but I don't know, it's confusing.
Because the Omnissiah should be some of them believe the Emperor is the Omnissiah.
Yeah, so actually what I just said may not be true at all. So let me backtrack that, but yeah. So Omnigon's been there, and obviously we talked about in our preview, the Alpha Legion used Isfan 5 as a way to disguise a lot of their legionnaires as Raven Guard. So
a lot. There's 3 of them.
There's 5 originally. I think they tried to put in 20, and by the end of Isfan and all that, some of them died to other traitor legions.
Yeah, I mean it's hard.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy stuff. So gonna try and grab one of these beers. Here it goes.
Yeah.
That didn't work.
But yeah, so we have. Shit.
Yeah, it was loud. Couldn't handle it. Okay. So that's kind of where we end up on Deliverance, where we start the second part of the book. And we have 15 minutes.
Shit. Yeah, I guess we gotta power through these.
So second part of the book kind of is. It's all about Corax's desperation.
Yeah, and him trying to bring back the Legion to what it was. So they finally start the process.
They isolate the gene seed to they figure out, oh, this is how we make people.
Yep. And like it's very interesting too. Like they talk about how like, oh, like, whoa, like this Primarch has like canine tended like DNA. I'm like, obviously that's Lehman or us. Like, yeah, that makes sense. And like they kind of like go through like all the other ones, and then they finally like Corax has a memory, and he just like, flies through the data and pulls up exactly what they need, and then they start fucking.
Corax is heavily relying on the memories that the Emperor implanted in his mind.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting throughout the book, too, because he realizes that the Emperor is still hiding things from him from his memory. And we know, though, that what he's hiding from him is his deals with the Chaos God.
Yep.
We know that from
really
First Heretic.
First Heretic, we kind of know it from False Gods.
Yeah. Yeah. We didn't believe in False Gods, but I think First Heretic kind of solidified it for us, for sure.
Yeah, well, False Gods is weird because it, like, you had the truth and the lie.
Yeah. Which was also the truth if the lie became true.
Yes.
It was, like, really crazy.
Yeah. But, yeah, so we have that going on, and, like, they start, like, their first, like, batch, basically.
And they call this new batch the Raptors.
Yep.
So Bran is in charge of the Raptors. He's one of the captains of the Raven Guard. And like we said, I think it's both of our favorite characters.
Yep, for sure. He is definitely my favorite one in this book.
So the Raptors are created. It's created. They go through like a hyper fast genetic enhancement. So it happens in just a few days. And Corvus Corax decides to test them against a Word Bear's outpost.
Yep.
Which is
but
fucking
a quick
hilarious.
tidbit while this is going on, Agapito.
Mm-hmm.
No. Bran is like they've had like some type of like communication sort of like what's
mishap
it called?
Or
No. Like a grid search type of deal that they had going on, and like some like assistant lady like came up to him and was like, "Hey, you should see this."
Not any assistant. She's
I can't think of her
really
fucking
important. Name. I don't remember her name either. It's Ephraenia.
Sure. You can say literally any name. I'm going to say sure.
Okay, so here's the thing. God, I want to know her name, but I'm not going to be able to pull it.
Either way, she comes up to Bran and is like, "Hey, we've had this like blip on the communications that was like abnormal." I was like, "Oh, okay, well, what is it?" And like he's like looking, he's like, "Well, that's weird. That's Agapitos, like code,
digital code, yeah."
Yeah. Then she's like, "Yeah, that's why I thought I should take it to you since it was him." He's like, "Huh, that's weird." And he like confronts him, and he's like, "I have no idea what the hell you're talking about." And then like there's this big thing with Bran's like after like Agapito leaves, he's like, "Why are you lying to me, brother?" And like it makes you think that he is an Alpha Legionnaire that was taken over.
Yeah, so we really kind of need to do a better job at explaining this. But essentially what happens is...
It's hard.
Yeah, it is hard because the Alpha Legion's involved. So it's hard to kind of like explain what's happening. Bran and Agapito are brothers. Actual brothers. And battle brothers. So you kind of get... Good possibility. Well, not as Astartes. They're fully equipped, but they don't have the desires, according to
right,
McNeil.
This is right. What about Gav Thorpe's opinion now?
So, prior to the takeover Deliverance, we get this like command squad that is a part of Corax's like group that helped take over Deliverance. We have Agapito, we have Bran, and we have this female. I cannot remember her name.
It's just a little girl.
She's a little girl through the time, but she grows up in the rebellion.
Yeah.
I don't remember her name, but she is actually important. So she becomes like kind of the communications officer for the Raven Guard. And every time Corax sees her, it's like it's just a human that works for like the Raven Guard, but he's like, you were important to us.
Yeah, he like at the end, he talks to her. He's like, you're someone I know I can always trust.
Yes. So she brings, because Omegon is having all his communications as a spy on Deliverance, relaying information, and she brings data to Bran, showing that Agapito's command key, his line was being used to communicate off-world, because they originally came under attack by some small force that they repelled very easily.
Yeah.
And that's when she revealed that Agapito had been using this stuff. And that's when Bran first encountered him. And Agapito was like, I don't know why. It's weird.
Yeah.
And he's like, why are you lying to me, brother, kind of thing. So there's a big distrust between Agapito and Bran, because Bran believes that Agapito is lying.
Doing something.
Yeah.
And this tension lasts forever. And for whatever reason, Corvus keeps noticing and just doesn't say anything.
It's so frustrating.
He's like, oh yeah, I should talk to them about that, but I never do it.
Yeah, I should figure out why Bran came to help me in the first place. Never does it. He is so occupied with rebuilding his legion. His whole mindset is he feels weak.
Yeah.
What he doesn't realize is that's how the Raven Guard should be.
Yeah.
They are guerrilla. They should have lower numbers because they should really focus on striking critical targets when they're needed. But he fails to recognize that. He has this idea that he's going to use this gene code to not just rebuild the Raven Guard Legion, but make it the biggest Legion. The most powerful Legion. I'm like, that's not the Raven Guard. But he wants it to be.
Yeah.
So he makes the first initial test of the Raptors. Bran and Agapito both reveal that they're not really on board, because basically Corvus Corax comes out and says, we're going to recruit 5,000 people and make them Raptors. And they're like, whoa, we don't have 5,000 people. He's like, we're going to take volunteers.
There's babies.
And they're like, wait a minute. You're going to just randomly pick just whoever off the fucking street and make them Astartes? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and
bad idea, Corvus.
Dude, we've been training these guys for months or years.
They
kids.
know before they become Astartes all of the tenets of the Legion.
Yeah.
And you're just gonna be like, who wants to be an Astartes? Come on in. It's
buy one get one. Let's go.
It's Corvus just being super dumb. He's desperate, and the commanders try to tell him he's desperate, but he just doesn't see it. He wants to read, but he feels weak. Corvus more than anyone, I think, feels bad after his fun. He feels like he failed. He never wants to fail again. He keeps telling his Legion he doesn't want to fail again, and the weakness keeps coming. Keeps pushing and pushing, making it easier for the Alpha Legion, making them more exposed to failures, all that kind of stuff.
Also, this is a thing to mention about Bran becoming the commander of the Raptors, is he not being on Isfahan. He's had survivor's guilt this entire time.
Yeah, so
because he was not there.
And that's a big thing with Agapito too, is all the people on Isfahan kind of they get a special badge.
Yeah.
And he's realizing that Brandon's realizing there's a distance between the people who were on Isfahan and who weren't, and he feels bad about not being on Isfahan.
Yeah, he has survivor's guilt, and
which is crazy, because if Bran wasn't there, everything would have been fucked.
Yeah, but when he has the Raptors, they're doing their mission, he's is sitting there, the reason I was put here is because they also weren't on Isfahan.
Yeah.
So we all have that kind of thing together.
Yeah. So
interesting.
Yeah, it's really cool. Bran's character makes a lot of sense to me. I think he's the Loken of the book, but it's not super well defined.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
although he's kind of a badass.
He's a bit of a badass. I would agree with that. We get more production of the Astartes. But one of the things that happened is the Mechanicum ally of Omegon has given Omegon a weapon to introduce into the gene seed that would manipulate it. And I kind of knew that this was going to happen. But Omegon gave one of his agents, one of the Alfarius agents, the information, and they corrupted the gene seed.
Yep.
It got all fucked up. So one of the Astartes Navar.
Yeah, Navarre.
He got the new gene seed. They go into battle against the new insurgency that Omegon decided to send against the Raven Guard. Which at this point I was super annoyed with, because why haven't the Raven Guard just said fuck it and just destroyed like a bunch of shit? But they didn't.
Yeah.
They turn into these half demon Raven Guard, but they're still Raven Guard.
Yeah, and they're still like human. They used to have like weird shit. Navarre has like
extra teeth,
talons and shit, and like some of them like
tails.
almost like reptilian.
So they cage them, and Corax is trying to figure out what's wrong with the gene seed to fix them. Like, Corax this whole time is like, we can fix it. Everything's gonna be okay. We're gonna get a bunch of people. Like he's having a fucking panic attack.
Yeah,
basically. And like all of his like head commanders, like Bran and Agapito, are like, what the fuck is going on? And this is also when the girl goes back to Bran. And it's like Agapito's been doing some more weird shit.
Yeah.
And so Bran is hugely distrusting Agapito.
He's pissed.
So this huge attack happens against the Raven Spire, which is their main fortress. And Bran tries to track Agapito down. You lose Bran for a while.
Bran's gone, Agapito's gone, and like everything's falling to shit.
The Mechanicum reveal themselves as traitors. They bring in Titans, and that's when the Alpha Legion reveal themselves as traitors. Yep. All this stuff just starts tumbling down for the fucking Raven Guard, and the Alpha Legion make their way to the facility that's storing the gene seed, and they go to steal it.
Yep. So
a couple things happen here. One, Omegon is in contact with the Alpha Legion. They tell them to leave all of the sensitive data and everything they need on one end of the facility. They do that, and then they go to leave. They get stopped by Agapito.
Yep.
Who reveals them as traitors. And they all kill themselves. Because they don't want to be questioned. So all the Alpha Legion kills themselves. And another thing that's important is Corax is on his way to the bunker where the gene seed is at. And Bran contacts him. And Bran is in space, basically saying, I've got torpedoes launched towards the gene seed. If you go near there, everything's going to be fucked up. Stay away from there, Corax, because if you go near there, I won't blow it up because I won't kill you.
Yeah.
But if shit goes south, I need to blow it up.
Yep.
And that's when Corax is like, are you kidding me? I'm so pissed. And then Bran's like, you've been way too desperate. You have jeopardized everything by just going further and further and further, not thinking about it. And finally, Corax is like, holy shit, right?
Yep.
Like, I've gone crazy. Like, I've been obsessed with this. I've been obsessed with rebuilding the Legion. I'm going to stop. So he just bails.
Yep.
We don't even see Corax till, like, the end after that. So, the Alpha Legionnaires kill themselves. And that's kind of the book. And then we get the end.
Yeah. And, at the end, like, the gene seed and everything's still there. And then, Corvus, like, comes in. He lets the fucking,
Raptor guys, the mutated people, is like, you're gonna go ahead and fight for our Legion anyway. They do. Like, we see them fight later. I don't know anything about them in the current universe, so maybe they're...
Yeah, they have the Mach 6 armor. It's like a beak.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool.
It's supposed to make them more stealthy or whatever. So, they prepare for the final attack, which is kind of underrated or overrated. But one thing that's really interesting, Alfarius delivers the gene seed data to Horus. So this means that one of the operatives was successful.
Yeah, because at one point they have the thing where like Omegon comes out of like a fucking Mechanicum person, kills the next guy, and just takes it and leaves.
Yeah, he
and like the end of the book, like no one is freaking out about this.
Yeah.
No one like says anything.
Yeah.
Like they go and destroy the fucking perfect palace or whatever that we talked about last episode. The gene seed, the whole thing.
No one knows what happened to the gene seed or how it got to Alfarius, right?
Yeah. No one even says it's gone.
I have a theory.
Okay, let's go.
Corax, after they realized the Alpha Legion had infiltrated, decided to do a genetic test of all the Astartes to make sure that they were descendants of.
Of course.
And they actually ended up killing a few Alpha Legion because of that. Remember? Or yeah, 'cause they were like they tried to run or whatever, yada yada. So they weeded out all the Astartes. You know who I think was the actual traitor the whole time?
Mechanical guy?
Nope. The girl.
Huh.
I think, and this is just I seriously have not read. I really believe that she was an Alpha Legion, and she, because that line, that Corax said, "I can always trust you."
Yeah.
And then he tested all of his Legionnaires, but the gene seeds still disappeared. I'm like, oh, it can't be a Legionnaire, because they were tested. And then she was the one relaying the Agapito was causing all these problems to Bran.
Yeah, we found out it was Stellaro.
Yeah. That's who I think actually is the agent in charge of like getting all this stuff in there. And that's why like people were able to send all these command messages all over the place because she was in charge of all the communication. That's my theory. I think it was her.
I like it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe it, but I like it.
But we don't like we actually don't know. Like if we do know, maybe we're wrong. Like if you guys are
because I mean at one point like Agapito was like I knew it was you because one, you were the only person that could have access to my command line.
Yeah, Stellaro.
For Stellaro. He's like you talked about some battle. He's like you were never there.
The Phalanx.
Yeah. It's like you should know nothing about that. We've never even been with them.
Imperial Fist, yeah.
So, I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I think it was her, but maybe like we read it wrong. It was a confusing fucking book. So if you guys are like listening, and you're like, oh, it does tell you how the gene seed got there, or Omegon got the gene seed, or whatever it is.
No, that's what I thought. I thought it was Omegon that took it.
But like it says
because
like,
it was like I came out, and the mission is accomplished.
Maybe Omegon got it.
That's what I read it as.
But one thing I was really upset about was like the people who revealed themselves as the Alpha Legion. I think was disappointed. It was cool throughout the book because I was like,
the part that they're like, oh, one of us is a commander, and it's fucking Stellaro. I was like,
no, who the fuck is Stellaro?
I was like, I don't even remember this guy.
Like, I thought it would have been crazy like if it was like Bran.
Yeah, Bran or Agapito. Like either of them.
Agapito, like they kind of harp on Agapito, so I was like, maybe that's like a throw off.
Yeah, like
a
red herring.
Being a throw off.
Yeah.
But like it wasn't anyone interesting.
No.
Like it would have been cool if it was the girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even a Legionnaire. That was like that she was planted like way before. You know what I mean? That would have been cool. But yeah, we get that kind of thing, and basically we get Corax acknowledging in the end that like we're just a hit and run Legion, and that's what we're gonna do. We don't need a million Legionnaires. But the two things I think to finish up on. One is the last attack on the Perfect Fortress. Like, he killed like 2/3 the Imperial Guard that were with him.
Yeah, for real.
And he was just like, that's okay. And I'm like, fuck you. That wasn't a stealth mission. That was a suicide mission. And the dude was pissed. He had a right to be pissed.
Yeah, he did.
He was like, you made me kill all my people at Deliverance. Or not at Deliverance. It's fine.
Yeah.
And now you just made me kill all my people again for some weird theatrical shit that you wanted to do.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, now you're going to stay here. He's like, are you fucking kidding me? So now he has to, like, defend this, like, perfect fortress in the middle of, like, a planet that no one gives a shit about.
Yep.
That guy got fucked.
Yeah, he did.
And the last thing I want to talk about is, what do you think the Alpha Legion is planning?
Well, the thing is...
They got the gene seed, and they gave a fucked up copy to Horus and Fabius. They talked about that.
Yeah, I almost wonder, like, what, like...
And they kicked out the Cabal. They're like, fuck you, and, like, abandoned the Cabal, dude. Which was just a hand.
Well, I know at one point... I guess this is a spoiler. That Omegon and Alferis don't actually see eye to eye on the heresy.
Yeah. Oh, I think you're right. I'm pretty sure.
So, it's kind of hard to say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to see like what the next story we have them in.
Yeah, hopefully soon
because I can't see them being in like one of like the larger legions. Like, I feel like they have to kind of, like, play this role in, like, the smaller legions. Because, like, with so few, like, Raven Guard left, like, there's a high probability that you're going to be able to, like, really infiltrate. Whereas, if you're in, like, the fucking Ultramarines, there's so many of them, like, there's the likelihood of you being, like, top command has to be so low.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I would like to say that their plan is to kind of just fuck both sides until they get the solution that they just want.
Yeah, are they? I've never heard anything in the 40k universe about the Alpha Legion being able to just produce a fuck ton of Astartes.
Yeah,
which is what they got. They got their hands on the gene seed. So I'm wondering like where that ends up. But man, did the Alpha Legion fuck over Corax?
Yeah,
they did such a good job.
Yeah, Alpha Legion's so fucking cool.
They're fucking badass. They never lost.
Nah, not at all. And like, I want to see like what they're planning.
Yeah, what their overall goal is.
Yeah, I wonder what the next book is that we have of them. It has to be a while.
I don't know.
It's hard to say because there's this fucking $50.
But they're never like other than Legion, they're not like the main characters. Fucking thing. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know when they show up. We'll see. That is Deliverance Lost, though. Like we said in the preview, not like our favorite, not in our favorite tier, but very important to the Heresy. So you can't skip it. If you're just reading the most important ones of the Heresy, this might be a rough read for you.
Yeah, I mean,
comparatively,
it's like a must read because like the gene seed stuff is so important.
Yeah, I think so. I hope so.
Yeah, it would make sense.
Comes into play later, and like just the fucked up portion of the Raven Guard.
Yeah,
and we also have acknowledgement that salamanders are fucked. Apparently,
that's it. Gotta read about that part.
Yeah,
but yeah, guys, that is our review of Deliverance Lost. We talked about our rankings last time. I put it at a 6, I believe, and then I said a 10 for importance. I think you did around the same.
There. I think that's the exact right numbers.
But yeah,
the numbers add up.
It's solid. Kind of long, almost too long, which is the part kind of that really like kills it.
There was a lot of meat they could cut out.
Yeah, but good time. So next week we will be, next week our preview for No Fear by Dane Abnett.
Super pumped.
And it's gonna be really fucking good. I can't wait to read that. So guys, as always, if you have comments, if you have questions, you just want to shoot the shit with us, you can do that by emailing us at theheresylodge@gmail.com. You can also tweet at us and find our Discord pinned to our Twitter. That is at Heresy Lodge. And if you're listening or watching, I guess, on the YouTube, please like and subscribe to us. If you have anything, put it in the comments. We always respond.
Negative, positive, weird shit, dream stuff. Tell me about Puerto Rabo.
He might need to know what Puerto Rabo looks like. That's it for us tonight, guys. I hope you guys have a great weekend when you listen to this. And after that, we'll be back with our preview of No Fear. Have a good one, guys.